Ladies and gentlemen, this particular story comes out of Florida, and the individual that you see on my screen, and I want to warn you guys, you're going to hear some details that are not going to sit well with your sensibilities, so I hope you guys can listen with an open mind, because the child that is involved in this situation is a child that has some disabilities, and usually children like this need a lot more care and a lot more help. And in this situation, this particular individual that y'all see on my screen, who looks like she is out of a fresh episode of The Crypt Keeper, has done something very heinous to a child who couldn't speak for themselves nor defend themselves. So let me show you guys what she did. A Florida woman is accused of child abuse and says that she was at the end of her rope when she allegedly locked a young nonverbal child that is severely autistic. This little girl is severely autistic, and she took this child and locked this child inside of a cage. Locked this child inside of a cage at her house, which was filthy and littered with garbage. Ladies and gentlemen, I've heard of animals that are treated better than this. Matter of fact, if this story was sent to PETA and PETA heard that they treated a dog like this, you know, this woman would probably be doing about 45 years in prison. If she did it to a dog and she did this to a baby who literally could not speak for itself and definitely could not defend itself. So let me tell you more about this individual that y'all see on my screen who look like they just freshly dug her up out of the ground. Her name is Melissa Doss, D-O-S-S, from Palm Bay, and she is 43 years old. That can't be right. Look at her face. Ladies and gentlemen, look at her face. Y'all tell me that this woman looks like she's 43. I'm almost 43. This woman looks like she's a good 73, maybe 83. And I didn't say 70, I said 70. 73, 80 years old. She looked like somebody's great-grandmother in the face. Boy, the milk has spoiled. My goodness. The aging process has kicked her in the ass severely. Wow. But check this out. Don't feel bad for her, and don't feel bad that I'm clowning her looks, because she deserves it. She's 43 years old and was charged with 3 felony counts of child neglect without bodily harm and 1 count of aggravated child abuse as aggravated assault after police arrived at the property on Saturday, the Brevard County Sheriff's Office reports. And I'm assuming they probably showed up because somebody probably saw something and said something. We get a lot accomplished whenever we hold people accountable, right? As of Tuesday morning, authorities have yet to say, have yet to respond to requests for the nature of the relationship between Doss and the child, as well as the child's age. Palm Bay police say that they responded to Doss's Fillmore Avenue home several times in the past. However, the exact details and results of those investigations remain unclear. Again, that sounds like somebody called on her and tried to report her, and nobody did anything until something bad was almost about to happen. This child was barely able to survive with their life. According to the news, officers were once again dispatched to her home on Saturday after a neighbor noticed the child inside of a screened-in porch. Somebody saw something and said something. Responding officers quickly determined that the young girl, who cannot speak, had a disability before discovering she lived at the residence next door. Wow. When police went over to Doss's home, she refused to let them enter the front door, instead climbing over the backyard fence to greet them. What? I'm going to read this again. I thought I read this wrong. It said when police went over to her house, she refused them entry at the front door. Instead, this 43-year-old broad climbed over the backyard fence to greet them. Oh, what the hell? She climbed. That fence looked like it's about a good 5 foot to 6 foot tall. And this old decrepit looking woman climbed over that fence. Are you kidding me? Anyway, Das told authorities that she had been sleeping and she was unaware that the child had left the house again. Refusing to let officers have a look about the home before authorities ultimately returned the child to Das and left the scene. Wow. Just hours later, cops were called. Actually, I might have read that wrong. I don't know. It says she refused them entry at the front door, instead climbing over the backyard fence to greet them. I'm confused. Anyway, just hours later, cops were again called to her home after the same neighbor saw the child was in their yard. Once again, Das refused them entry, this time telling officers that she was at the end of her rope. If you saw the inside of my residence, the Department of Children and Families would be called, and Das could be heard yelling from behind the door. The news reports that the investigator with DCF was alerted a day later. Why would they alert them a whole day later? Shouldn't they alert them the same day? That's a bit weird. Anyway, when authorities finally gained access into her home, they say they were hit with the immediate smell. They were hit in the face with the immediate smell of feces and urine, which was strongly present. Her house smelled like pee and boo. Gross. Officers noted mold and bags of trash strewn about the place, bugs, which are probably roaches. They said bugs, spiders, and flies throughout the home, while adding that no part of the floor was visible. That is gross. And you know what? People get mad at me talking about, well, you know, this lady didn't have a lot of money. It don't take a lot of money to not be a nasty son of a bitch. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That's just flat out disgusting. But we're going to get to my point when I talk about babies for benefits. We'll come back to that. Put a pin in it. We'll come back to it. The home, described by police, was uninhabitable. Also, did not have working bathrooms or running water. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Let me take a sip of my Fiji water, because that is disgusting. I'm going to say that again. I got to wash that nasty taste out my mouth. Ugh. This woman did not have running water, and the bathrooms did not work. She's not a child. She's 43 years old. Who's going to make an excuse for her? Oh, she's didn't know no better. Oh, she's didn't have no whole lot of money. But somebody allowed this child who did not belong to her, to have custody of this child, right? So if she couldn't take care of herself, then why did she accept a child in her possession? Oh, that's right. Because she wanted to collect benefits from this child. And what do we call that? Hashtag babies for benefits. That's the only reason she took this child. She didn't take this child to give this child a better chance, a better life, to allow this child to live the best life that they can and to thrive. No, she wanted a paycheck. That's the only reason she had this child. The home was described as uninhabitable. Instead, they used the restroom and a bucket and throw the waste in a backyard. Oh my goodness. I was hungry. I am not hungry anymore. My appetite is gone, y'all. My appetite is gone, children. Y'all hear me? Gross. Child Protective Services eventually learned that Doss and the child share a bed. So this 43-year-old took on a child that she couldn't even give a bed. Nobody sees a problem with this? First of all, how did she even get custody of this kid and nobody looked into the fact that the system failed this child? Nobody clearly looked into this woman's residence. That woman looks slower than This woman looks slower than a bottle of molasses in the snow. This woman looks slower than a turtle race. This woman looks slower than a car on 4 flats. This woman looks slower than global warming. Usually when you get custody of a child that does not belong to you, don't they normally come out and look at your place, look at your house, make sure that you're going to have a bed for them, make sure that the place is suitable first? And I want y'all to think about this, because I normally try not to blame the system, but this is a case where the system clearly failed this child. You can't make any excuses for some bull crap like this, no pun intended. This is a failure on the system. Whoever agreed to place this child in this woman's home, and then they came out and checked this home. Matter of fact, this house don't even get that nasty. That is a process. It takes you a long time. You don't just wake up one day, excuse my language, I gotta say it like this, I'm sorry. This woman's slower than quicksand, thank you. I gotta say it like this. I'm sorry for my language, so I apologize in advance. Please don't flag my channel. About to use some curse words. You don't just wake up one day in your bathroom and your water stopped working and you all of a sudden start pissing and shitting in buckets and throwing it out the back of a window. So if you didn't have water and you didn't have toilets, did you have toilet paper? Did you bathe? What did you wipe your ass with? No water, no bathroom. Imagine what that would smell like for a couple of days. And I want y'all to think about this. You don't get used to that type of smell overnight. That is a process. That means if you couldn't see the floor and it was pee and crap and bugs and flies and spiders everywhere, that means that built up over time. I want y'all to understand why I'm calling this a failure on the system. That means that this built up over time. Day after day after day, month after month after month, year after year after year. And you mean to tell me out of all those times the police came by, Child and Family Services came by, and nobody actually went inside the house? that house had to have smelled so bad. You see, did y'all see, let me go back. Let me show you something real quick. Let me show you something. And this is why I believe that the system probably lied and they were just looking to put this child any freaking where. Let me show y'all a little something that I noticed. I need to zoom in. Hold on. Let me clip this a little bit. Hold on. If you guys are watching this stream, y'all do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. That'll help share the stream and let more people know that we're live talking about this. Let me show you guys something. Let me break out my trusty whiteboard real quick. Y'all hold on. Y'all hold on a moment. Let me show y'all something. What is this right here? Can any of you guys look at my screen and see what is that object right there? I don't draw the straightest lines. I'm trying my best. What is that object right there? Can anybody see what that is? It's a thing that's hanging out of the window and it's hanging out of the front window. And I just noticed this woman got so much grass that's growing up by the house. She don't even have a walkway. You can't even walk to the front door without walking on dirt and grass. That is ridiculous. That's an air conditioner. That's an AC unit. So guess what else that also means? That means that that window to that house is partially open. What does that also mean? That means whatever is on the outside can come on the inside, and whatever smells are on the inside should also be reverberating outside. Everybody understand what I'm saying? And on top of that, in order for you to walk up to the door, you would have to walk past that partially open window, which means you should also smell what? I think y'all get my point. What should you smell by walking past that open window, essentially? Child Protective Services eventually learned that the DOS and the child share a bed while another child was forced to sleep in a homemade metal and wood cage, which was kept next to the bed. Lord, help us. She had 2 children in her possession? Boy. Police on the scene say that there was a blanket and a pillow inside the cage where DOS told them she keeps the child at night. Only letting her out after the little girl screams to awake DOS in the morning, according to authorities. DOS is being held, get this, she's being held on a $22,000 bond following her arrest, according to Brevard County records. $22,000. I'm almost positive, even in the day and age where we're trying to legalize marijuana, there's still people probably going to jail for having too much marijuana and get bonds and bails that are higher than that. That's ridiculous. I need to be careful about my words. Let me give you guys the fair usage and let me let you guys watch the one news video. 1. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. $22,000 bond. Ridiculous. Let's watch this amazing news video. This is the only one that was out there.
Palm Bay police arrested a woman who forced a child with severe autism to sleep in a cage. Over the weekend, neighbors of 42-year-old Melissa Doss called 911 and said a young child had climbed over their privacy fence and was on their screened-in patio. Police say the girl was nonverbal with a disability. Doss told officers she didn't know the girl escaped from home and admitted she shuts her in a homemade cage at night. Officers say part of the home's roof was missing. There was mold, no working bathrooms, trash, and bugs all over the place. Doss is now charged with aggravated child abuse and child neglect. Katie Johnston for CBSMiami.com.
And notice how they didn't talk about the $22,000 bail. Excuse me, $22,500 bond. For a mere $2,000, she could get a bail bondsman and get right back out of jail. One news video, and this didn't make any headlines. Why not? It's beyond me, but we have National Autism. Matter of fact, if somebody remembers what month it is, can you post it in the chat? Either Leanne or Lee Hellinger. National Child Abuse Awareness. National Child Abuse Awareness and National Autism. I think there's a National Autism either day or month. Is it not? Why do those months or periods of time that we call that autism is important? It's an important topic. Why do we even talk about that and we don't actually treat it like it's important? The fact that somebody can abuse a child, and yes, this is abuse, that somebody is allowed to abuse the most vulnerable children in existence. Those who cannot speak and those who cannot take care of themselves or defend themselves. But yet I guess this child's autism didn't matter. This mother, allegedly, I'm not going to even call her a mother. I'm going to call her a caretaker. This individual, this caretaker, was allowed to abuse the most vulnerable of us and gets a $22,500 bond. National Autism Awareness Month of April, but this ain't national headlines. This is not important. Matter of fact, it's even so little important that they didn't check the house before they brought these children into this individual's house. They didn't check inside the house of the living conditions after Department of Family and Children Services were called over there multiple times, and the police were called multiple times until damn near it was too late. That's a failure of the system, and this woman took advantage of it, and for that, is she going to see 10, 20 years in prison? Probably not, especially considering she got a $22,000, $500 bond. That's absolutely insane. If we believe in National Autism Awareness Month and that they need to be protected, they need to have a voice, and we need to enforce the laws that are on the books, then why wouldn't we do it here? I'm going to be waiting to the state of Florida. State of Florida, y'all are on the clock. We're waiting on y'all to fix this. Absolutely ridiculous. Palm Bay is Brevard County. This is ridiculous. Y'all are on the clock. We're waiting on y'all to fix this. DJ Just J, well, we believe that all babies' lives matter. Y'all see my shirt? Babies' lives matter. I hope they prove it in this case, okay? Thank y'all for listening with an open mind and an open heart. Thank you.